I'll never forget the night of June 12th, 2019. I was standing in front of my full-length mirror, holding a bridesmaid dress that was supposed to be my size, a size 22. I had ordered it months earlier, telling myself I would lose at least 10 pounds before the wedding. But now, just hours before my best friend Megan's big day, the zipper wouldn't go past my waist. I tried sucking in, I tried lying flat on the floor, I even called my mom into the room to help tug it up. But it was no use. My chest was heaving, not from effort, but from panic. I stared at my body in the mirror, the folds of skin pressing against the fabric, my face flushed with shame. I thought about walking down that aisle, every camera clicking, every eye on me, and the idea of it made me feel sick. So instead of going, I texted Megan some pathetic excuse about food poisoning. And then I sat on my bed, scrolling through Instagram hours later, looking at her wedding photos. She looked radiant. All of our friends were smiling in the group shots, except me. Because I wasn't there. That night, something inside me broke. I told myself, if I can control my mind, truly control it, then my weight loss is only a matter of time. My name is Jessica Carter. I'm 33 years old, and I live in Columbus, Ohio. I work as an administrative assistant at a law firm, which basically means sitting at a desk for 8 hours straight, answering phones, and surviving on coffee and vending machine snacks. I wasn't always overweight. In high school, I was active. I played softball and even ran cross-country for a season. But once college started, the combination of late-night pizza, cheap beer, and no sports caught up with me. By the time I graduated at 22, I weighed 185 pounds. At first, I told myself it was just college weight, that it would melt off once I got older. Instead, it got worse. By 28, I had hit 240 pounds. By 30, I was 265. And by the time of Megan's wedding, I was 278 pounds. I wore mostly stretchy leggings and oversized cardigans because jeans dug into my stomach. I avoided mirrors at department stores because I hated the way clothes hung on me. I never swam at family barbecues, never went hiking with friends, never let anyone take candid photos of me. The health issues were piling up too. My doctor, Dr. Lewis, had warned me at my last physical. My blood pressure was 148/95, my cholesterol was high, and my fasting glucose was 110. Just a few points shy of prediabetes. But what hurt more than any medical number was the loneliness. The way I avoided dating because I didn't want to see the look of disappointment on a man's face. The way I skipped parties because I didn't want to be the fat girl in the photos. The way I missed life, one small decision at a time. The wedding incident was the straw that broke me, but the real breaking point came 3 weeks later. It was July 2019, and I had gone to the grocery store after work. I parked way in the back, partly because it was crowded, partly because I was embarrassed squeezing out of my car when people were parked close. I started walking toward the entrance, and by the time I got inside, I was already winded. My chest felt heavy, my lower back ached, and sweat was dripping down my neck. It wasn't even hot that day. As I grabbed a cart, I overheard a woman whisper to her friend, not quietly enough, "She's way too young to be out of breath like that." I froze. I pretended to look at the fruit display, but I felt my face go hot. That night, after unloading my groceries, I sat on my couch and cried. I cried for the girl who used to run cross-country. I cried for the woman who skipped her best friend's wedding. And I cried because for the first time, I truly wondered if my life was going to be cut short. The next morning, I called Dr. Lewis's office and booked an appointment. He looked me square in the eye and said, "Jessica, you're on the verge of diabetes. If you don't change now, you're looking at medication within a year. And it won't stop there. Heart disease, joint damage, sleep apnea, it all comes next." I asked him bluntly, "Is it too late?" He shook his head. "It's never too late, but you need to start now." That night, sitting at my kitchen table with a notebook, I made a promise to myself. I wasn't going to chase fad diets anymore. I wasn't going to try starving myself for 2 weeks only to binge again. I was going to do it differently this time. Slowly, consistently, and for real. And this time, I wouldn't do it alone. The first week was brutal. I started with something simple, logging everything I ate. I downloaded MyFitnessPal, set my calorie goal to 800, and forced myself to write down every sip, every snack, every just one bite. It was shocking. My normal day, a bagel with cream cheese for breakfast, Chick-fil-A nuggets for lunch, a Starbucks Frappuccino in the afternoon, and pizza delivery at night, was nearly 3,200 calories. No wonder I was gaining. Cutting back hurt. I craved sugar constantly. The second day, I snapped at my coworker because she brought in donuts. The third day, I went to bed early just to escape my hunger. Exercise was even harder. I joined a Planet Fitness near my apartment, but I was terrified walking in. Everyone looked so fit, so confident. I stuck to the treadmill in the back row, walking at 2.5 km/h, sweating buckets after 15 minutes. My legs ached for days. I almost quit that first week. But then, on the morning of day 6, I stepped on the scale, 273, down 5 pounds. I cried again, but this time it wasn't out of shame. It was the first tiny spark of hope. I started meal prepping on Sundays, grilled chicken, rice, broccoli. I switched my frappuccinos for black coffee with stevia. I drank only water. And every morning before breakfast, I added one small thing to my routine, something I'll share more about later. But let's just say it gave me energy I hadn't felt in years. By the third month, something shifted. I had lost 22 pounds, down to 251. I remember one morning climbing the stairs at work, realizing I wasn't gasping for breath at the top. It stopped me in my tracks. I stood there, hand on the railing, grinning like a fool. Little victories kept me going. My size 22 jeans felt loose. I bought a size 20 pair, and when the zipper went up easily, I nearly danced in the dressing room. A coworker I hadn't seen in weeks said, "Wow, Jessica, have you been working out? You look great." I was learning discipline. Every morning I woke up at 6 and even when I didn't want to, and did my special routine. Treadmill walks turned into light jogs. Food logging became second nature. I wasn't perfect. Some nights I still binged on chips. But the difference was, I didn't let it derail me anymore. One Saturday in October, I ran my first full mile without stopping. I collapsed on the track at the local YMCA, laughing and crying at the same time. A mile might not sound like much, but to me, it was proof. Proof that I wasn't stuck. By February 2020, I had lost 64 pounds. My weight was 214. At my checkup, Dr. Lewis beamed at me. My blood pressure was normal for the first time in years, 122/80. My glucose was down to 88. My cholesterol was healthy. He looked at me and said, "Jessica, you just added years back to your life." That night, I went shopping and bought a dress in size 14. I hadn't worn that size since college. I stood in the mirror, spinning slowly, my hand resting on my hip. For the first time in a decade, I didn't hate my reflection. The biggest victory, though, came later that spring. Megan, the friend whose wedding I had missed, invited me to her anniversary party. I almost said no, afraid of facing her after bailing on her big day. But she hugged me tight when I walked in and whispered, "I'm so proud of you." When the music started, I danced. I danced without worrying about how my arms jiggled, without tugging at my dress, without hiding in the corner. And in that moment, I realized I had taken my life back. Looking back now, I don't hate my old self anymore. For a long time, I did. I saw her as weak, lazy, undisciplined. But now I see her as someone who was just hurting, using food as comfort, using isolation as protection. I've learned that motivation doesn't last. Discipline does. That perfection is impossible, but consistency is everything. That the scale doesn't define me, but the effort I put in every day does. I wrote down every step of my journey, the workouts, the meal plans, the supplement routine, because I wanted to remember it forever. And the biggest lesson? Health isn't about being skinny. It's about being free. Free to live, to love, to move, to say yes to life instead of hiding. Today, I weigh 172 pounds. I've lost over 100 pounds since that night in front of the mirror. I hike every Saturday morning now. I smile when the sun rises, feeling the air in my lungs, feeling alive. I play with my niece without worrying if I'll collapse. I walk into rooms with confidence, not shame. If you're listening to this and you're struggling, I want you to know, I get it. I know what it feels like to cry in dressing rooms, to hide from cameras, to sit on the sidelines of your own life. But I also know this: you are not stuck. You are not broken. And you can change. It won't be easy. You'll have days when you want to quit, when the cravings feel unbearable, when the gym feels humiliating. But if you keep showing up, day after day, step after step, something amazing will happen. You'll start to believe in yourself again. So, if you're at your breaking point, take the first step, drink more water, walk around the block, log your food, just start. Because one day, you'll look in the mirror and see someone you're proud of. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true transformation stories. And if you're serious about changing your health, remember, lasting change starts with mastering your mind, eating smart, moving daily, and using the right proven supplements. Our website, weightlossspeech.com, is packed with science-backed diet plans, powerful workouts, and supplement tips to help you reach your goals faster. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself dancing at a party again, smiling, free and alive.